1, 2, 3, 4. What up, y'all? Babylon 5 Podcast. It's your boy, Jermaine Babbles. How you guys doing? It's episode 73. Calling this bad boy Oz. You know, because why not? It's strange lands we are living in, ladies and gentlemen. Strange lands. Calling this episode 73 Oz, and I am not the wizard, ladies and gentlemen. I'm definitely not the grand wizard. If anything, in Oz, I would say that I am the Cheshire cat. And you might say, oh shit, what does that mean? That means that I have nothing to do with this story. That's what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the social medias. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod, where I do most of my tweeting. I mean, I guess I'm a little more active on the... I digress. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal accounts, it's at My Name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at babylon5podcast@gmail.com. As I've explained, that trips me up every time. Babylon, you guys can follow this podcast. If you guys are listening right now, you can make a free account on Podbean. Come talk to me. I promise, if you comment on the Podbean, I will respond to every single comment from this day forward. But follow this podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere podcasts stream. If you guys got Xbox, go ahead and add me. Gamer tag is SauceBoss414. If you guys are on Twitch, go ahead and add a brother at twitch.tv/Babylon5. Guys can go to teespring.com/stores/BOFpod-shop. Check out the merchandise. We got a face mask here. Little Babylon 5 podcast face mask. If you're listening to this, you're probably going to be like, nigga, why are you saying that? We can't see this. I'm actually recording this because I've been posting. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'll have the videos that I posted, and I was like, why don't I just, even if I'm not going to upload this whole video because I just have an issue with the quality, it's just, I don't know, even when I use my camera that I have, it fucking freezes. So it'll be crystal clear picture, but it freezes every 2 seconds. So it's either I can have this fucking blurry picture and just splice up the clips that I need for Instagram, or just have nothing that's useful at all. So yeah, I was like, why don't I just record this? So I just held up the mask there, the face mask, the Babylon 5 face mask. My wife was like, because it's my whole face, it's the whole Babylon 5 logo, my whole face. She was like, I should have did it from the nose down, which I thought about, from right below, or yeah, I guess from the nose down, yeah. And I thought about that, but I was like, no, they're gonna get the whole goddamn mane. They're gonna get the whole mane. They're not gonna get half a mane. They're gonna get the whole damn mane. So I put my whole face on there. If you guys definitely put that on the, I don't know why I'm fucking retarded. I'm sorry for saying that. I'm holding it up to the mic and not up to the camera. So it's probably too close to the camera as I'm holding it up to the mic and shit. But it's probably too close. But go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. You could buy this fucking face mask if you think it's pretty cool. It's in multiple colors. We got it in shirts. We got all kinds of shit. I got I didn't even open this one. I got my Boars hoodie also. I should have grabbed that. But this is my Boars. I got my Boars line. Check out this. Doing it again. Fucking Boars face mask. I can't really. Boars. There we go. Boars, which is, as you guys know, if you guys watch MMA, Boars is Chechnyan for wolf. So go check out the Boars. gear that I got over there. It's multiple colors for the boards, but I got this. I was like working on some designs with actual wolf outlines, but at that point I was like, fuck, I can't draw, but I don't want to like take something and make it into something else. I'd rather like have an original image of a wolf, like a drawing or something, maybe that I have to like commission. Even now I'm talking to the microphone, like I'm looking at the mic, which I always do every week, so probably that's what Anywho, go to teespring.com/stores/BOFpod-shop. Check out this merchandise. Go ahead, why not? It's pretty cool. I'm showing you here. It's real. It's real stuff. It's pretty comfortable. It's pretty comfortable. Go to, if you guys want to support this podcast in other ways, go ahead to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. Patreon.com/Babylon5pod, where you'll get this episode of the podcast on Sunday. Right as I'm done recording this, I will upload it there at the same time when I'm uploading to Podbean. It's like a race. Which one can I do? Which one will upload faster? Which is usually Patreon. But it doesn't matter, because you're not going to get the Podbean episode until tomorrow regardless. So if you want to get the episode on Sunday, you got to sign up to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod. And if you niggas is on TikTok, go to Babylon5 Podcasts. Or, I mean, that's my handle on TikTok. I'm so sorry. That's my handle. If you're on TikTok, follow me at Babylon5 Podcasts. This is the silliest I've been for the openings here, and it's strange times we're living in. I'm calling this episode Oz. I think it's pretty obvious. One of the things that I'm going to talk about here. It's been a pretty interesting few days here. I was like honestly kind of oblivious on the day. I think it was like Wednesday on the 6th when shit went down, and it was like shit started happening. And I was like, "What do you mean niggas is at the Capitol building doing shit?" And it's like, "Oh well, they're trying to certify the vote or whatever." And I'm like, I don't know. It just didn't even occur to me. And then it was like, all the shit came out. Like Trump tweeted back in the day that he was gonna do this shit. He was gonna have motherfuckers come down here. It was gonna be wild. He tweeted about that shit a minute ago. But I want to see right here, Luke Thomas tweeted out from the Center for Strategic and International Studies. This is from the Center for Strategic International Studies in June of 2020. This analysis makes several arguments. First, far-right terrorism has significantly outpaced terrorism from other types of perpetrators. Yeah, perpetrators. Damn. Out here sounding like Floyd Mayweather. That joke hurts me because he's probably one of my favorite people in the world. And it's just like, just to fucking please you people, I made that joke. And then outpaced terrorism from other types of perpetrators, including from far-left networks and individuals inspired by the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Right-wing attacks and plots account for the majority of all terrorist incidents in the United States since 1994, my nigga. These right-wingers account for the majority of terrorist attacks since 1994. I'm like reading through it pretty fast. Or maybe not. Maybe you niggas is like, yo, stop reading so slow. And the total number of right-wing attacks and plots has grown significantly during the past 6 years. Wonder what happened. Right-wing extremists perpetrated, that word is fucking me up, perpetrated 2/3 of the attacks and plots in the United States in 2019, and over 90% between January 1st and May 8th of 2020, nigga. Damn. Like, see, I don't understand. How is this study out here in June? This is what the niggas I remember an article came out where it was like, yo, white supremacists like account for like all the terrorism, and it was like, yo, Yes, nigga. Yes. We've been saying that for years. Second, terrorism in the United States will likely increase over the next year in response to several factors. One of the most concerning is the 2020 U.S. presidential election. This is in June when this came out. Before and after which extremists may resort to violence. Depending on the outcome of the election, far-right and far-left networks have used violence against each other at protests, raising the possibility of escalating violence during the election period. Right, this is in June. And then Wednesday, niggas stormed the Capitol building. But it was like Trump tweeted out that, like, come down to the Capitol. Niggas is gonna have a rally. It's gonna be wild. I'm paraphrasing. But he was like, come on down to the Capitol, niggas. It's going down. And niggas showed up. It's videos of this nigga Trump. He's hyping up niggas. He's got boxing gloves on. He's amping niggas up. Niggas fucking, I don't even know if I could say rush the Capitol. Niggas silly, like real silly. They like climbed a wall to get up to the Capitol building. It's like stairs. Niggas that didn't climb walls, like niggas that did not climb walls, the police just fucking moved. They just fucking moved away. They moved to the side and allowed these motherfuckers to walk right in. Like, I think the video. See, I didn't want to play this shit directly because it's like so long. And I kind of want to rant, but this is Babylon 5 podcast, but it's like this nigga, he said it so well. But, man, so, yeah, niggas was saying in the video that I saw, let's just play some shit, fuck it.
It's the full picture of the terror, of the crisis that took place in the nation's capital on Wednesday is coming into focus. First of all, we should say this. There is a death toll which now stands at 5. We should note that is one greater than the number of Americans
2 more people
who died in the attack on the U.S. government buildings in Benghazi over 8 years ago. The last time an American government building was overrun by a...
So this video came out yesterday. It's 8:02 Central Time, 8:02 p.m. Central Time, and I got an article that popped up here saying U.S. Capitol police officer dies at 7:43. So I'm like, maybe that death toll has increased. Yeah, it says a second Capitol police officer has died. So,
rampaging and violent mob. And that led to more than 2 years of investigations, dozens of congressional hearings. 4 of the people who were killed as a result of the Capitol attack appear to have been rioters themselves, one of whom was shot in the neck by police as she and others attempted to break into the speaker's lobby just outside the House chamber, as you can see in this video. The most recent casualty of the mob, the president and other Republicans incited, is Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. He's a 42-year-old veteran. According to reporting, Officer Sicknick was struck with a fire extinguisher amidst the chaos on Wednesday. He succumbed to his injuries last night. And that means the U.S. Capitol is now the site of a homicide investigation, among other things. What we saw happen on Wednesday was the apparent murder of a police officer by members of a mob incited and directed to the Capitol by the President of the United States, who hoped...
This nigga's name is Chris Hayes, I think. Yeah, this is his nigga named Chris Hayes. I don't know too much about this nigga, but this is the nigga. Maybe I've seen 1 or 2 of his videos before, but it's a nigga named Chris Hayes.
They would successfully intimidate members of Congress out of certifying the rightful Democratic victory of his political opponent. And we all watched this terrible spectacle unfold live on television. The images broadcast were largely not the most horrifying ones of the day. Much of what we saw, silly costumes, people taking selfies and grabbing the speaker's lectern, looked kind of like a group that might even attend a Trump boat parade. But there was something way, way darker, more violent, more sinister, and more organized happening in that Capitol on Wednesday, and it's time we see it clearly. These crowds were gathering on the east side of the Capitol.
Nah, this nigga look too young for any nigga I've ever seen before. I don't know. It seems like a young man who's trying to look older.
Early afternoon, you'll remember that Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri walked by giving a supportive fist bump on his way in to object to the Electoral College results, to vote against Pennsylvania seating their electors who voted for Joe Biden. After the rioters broke in, we got eyewitness accounts of people marauding through Capitol Hill looking for the vice president. A Reuters editor saying he heard at least 3 different rioters at the Capitol say they hope to find Vice President Mike Pence and execute him by hanging him from a Capitol Hill tree as a traitor. Indeed, one of the insurrectionists erected a gallows with a noose right outside the Capitol. This is a video of a crowd chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." While Pence, the vice president, was in the Capitol, had to be taken to a secure location because he had failed to do the thing that Donald Trump told that crowd of people, that mob, that Mike Pence had to do or face consequences, or face their wrath. Here's some more footage. This is of an AP photographer being attacked as he covered the riots. He gets shoved around the crowd as it descends on him. Eventually, he's pulled to safety by a cooler-headed Trump supporter. Luckily, or Lord knows what would have happened to them. We're also hearing firsthand accounts of the terror from other members of the press. Erin Schaff, staff photographer for the New York Times, writes that she was in the Capitol Rotunda when suddenly 2 or 3 men in black surrounded me and demanded to know who I worked for. Grabbing my press pass, they saw that my ID said the New York Times and became really angry. They threw me to the floor trying to take my cameras. I started screaming for help as loudly as I could. No one came. People just watched.
It's some of the most disgusting shit I've ever heard. You don't hear this shit. Man, you don't hear this shit. You know what I see at fucking peaceful protests? I see people of color that work for the news being arrested on camera while working. Not protesting, away from the protests, on camera holding a microphone, and the police walking up to this black person, putting them in handcuffs and taking them away just because they're black. They didn't arrest anybody who was white in the crew. The rest of the crew's white. They walked up, put the black person in handcuffs and took them away. That's what I see. That's the white shit. Niggas is losing eyes. Like, they're losing lives, all right, at these peaceful protests. Just last year alone. And you're allowed to you got people on lawns that are just pointing guns at people just protesting. And then the president invites them to the fucking...
At this point, I thought I could be killed, and no one would stop them. They ripped one of my cameras away from me, broke a lens on the other, and ran away. And then there are the deeply unsettling images of this guy in the Senate chamber, dressed in full tactical gear, carrying plastic zip ties. As Dan Coys writes for Slate, those are actually flex cuffs, the plastic double restraints often used by police in mass arrest situations. They went into the Capitol, as Congress was counting electoral votes, equipped to take hostages, to physically seize officials, and presumably to take lives. It is entirely possible that there were people in that crowd looking to apprehend and possibly harm and possibly murder the leaders of the political class that the president and people like Mo Brooks...
Niggas got found, they found niggas with pipe bombs, like hella weapons. Niggas had weapons, pipe bombs. A nigga, my wife showed me this shit. A nigga came there, loaded up his stun gun, put it in his pocket, and like when he was trying to steal a picture off the wall in the building, he fucking his legs set off the fucking taser, tased his testicles. He fell like on it. He landed weird where it kept pressure on the taser on it that was tasing his testicles, and he gave himself a heart attack. this is my thing. I saw a meme and it was like, yeah, like what? When I saw niggas just like breaking into the Capitol, it's like, for what? What are you gonna do in there? And you know, it was like niggas. Well, you see here, they got hand ties and shit. Niggas was talking about lynching niggas. They came in there. Luckily, I mean, it's like not even luckily because they're breaking into the building. It's clear. It seems fucking fake. It seems like some people were clearly in on this. Like as far as like, there's hella cops that are being investigated. I just saw an article that said 25 troops. I don't know what that means. Were being investigated. I don't like these like active troops that just somehow came down to this. I don't know what that means, but they were saying there's some police officers who were like they're active police officers, but they were off that day, I guess. But they participated in this riot, this breaking into the fucking Capitol building. Lady fucking gets shot in the fucking throat while these motherfuckers are breaking into the Capitol building. So it's like, there's videos of these rioters saying to the police, just move, we don't want to hurt you. And the police just move to the side. You know what I'm saying? This is fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Nigga, you can break into a federal building, say to the police, just move. We don't want to have to hurt you. And they just move. Bitch, move. She moves. And then, like, nigga, like, what the fuck? That's one of them moments right there. That's one of them Dave Chappelle, I didn't know I could do that. Like, it's funny because I did know I could do that. Like, that's basically what happened there. Like, these people are fucking breaking into the fucking Capitol building and just like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. Breaking in, stealing podiums. I didn't know I couldn't do that. That's what it seems like. I was looking up what these niggas could possibly get for breaking into the, like if they're charged with, whatever this shit is called. But it was like niggas could get like minimum of like, I think it's probably like a $600 fine, or it's just like a small fine. It's not a huge fine, or like a minimum of 10 years. So I was like, niggas probably not finna do any time. Or, I mean, I think if it's federal, I think the FBI is on this case, and the FBI has like a 99% conviction rate. So I don't know if it's like, because if it's local, and we're talking about local cops, when you're already reporting that, like hella police officers who work for that department were there participating in the riots. But if you're saying that, I would think naturally federal cops, if federal's in here, then that could be the best case scenario for this acts of terrorism, of fucking terrorism that went down on Wednesday. It was nothing but an act of terrorism. Grade A buffoonery, if I've ever seen it, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking treason. Niggas is walking around. They broke into the Capitol. Like four of these terrorists were killed during this whole nonsense. One who gave himself a heart attack. The lady who got shot in the neck as these people are fucking breaking the windows on the doors to get into the Capitol building. A fucking lady gets shot in the neck and killed. She's got videos apparently going on these fucking crazy QAnon rants or some shit. Is that what it's called? QAnon? I think that's what it's called. I don't know. You niggas be coming up with this new shit all the time. I didn't know what Antifa was probably until today. And when I found out, I'm looking at it and it doesn't make any sense to me. Because, like, I would hear people mention Antifa in, like, a negative connotation. But at the same time, when I'm looking into it, I'm like, Shouldn't most of us fall under that umbrella? Shouldn't most of us be like anti-fascist? But so I was like, I don't, and then I was like, maybe I still don't know what it means. Maybe I still don't know what it means because I don't know how that could mean that, and it still somehow has like a negative connotation, like it's like some kind of, oh, they're Antifa, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, what? Wait, is this what people are talking about? Is this what people are talking about? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. But they kept saying, like, the whole time these niggas is breaking into the buildings, niggas is saying, like, yo, Trump, you gotta say something. You gotta tell these people to stop. And he's just, like, tweeting out, like, these are, like, special people at the Capitol. Like, he's almost, like, praising these people for what they're doing. He's not telling anybody to stand down and to stand back and stand by. He's not saying anything that he needs to say. He's not doing the things he needs to say. So hopefully, though, that these are federal crimes, which I think they are, and it's a minimum of 10 years for just being on that in that federal building. I forget what the fucking, like, a prohibited area or some shit. Whatever the fucking thing is, but yeah, man, this is. I didn't write too many notes on it because I was just like, fuck. It's still kind of unraveling as we talk about it here, as I talk about it here. A lot of things they're talking about. This popped up actually earlier. Let me click that bad boy. Pelosi. Well, niggas was talking about still impeaching Donald Trump after he leaves office, and I'm like, I hope it happens because I mean they were trying to impeach him the first time. Is this like the first president that they've like tried to impeach so many times, like multiple times? And it's like, fuck, man. Is it really our fault? Maybe it's the system's fault. How did we let this happen? But if they can impeach this guy after he's out of office, then that means he can no longer run in 2024. I think that's very important. We need to make it so that that's not a possibility. We can't. But if he is impeached, I feel like that would set off some whole nother other shit. In the same way that I was saying with that whole tweet, or not that I was saying, when I was reading that tweet, they're talking about this election. Like, no matter what happens, depending on the results, either side, it's going to push, like, for more violence. So I feel like if Trump is impeached, and these people know, these insane fucking people that know that they can't get their fucking leader back, their savior back, they're going to fucking do some wild shit the day, like, if they tried to impeach Trump, I feel like shit is going to get wild. Like, post-presidency, if they try to impeach Trump, shit is going to start to get wild, and if they're successful, some shit is going to happen. But, man, I don't know. It's Pelosi talking, and it's like, man, Pelosi, I'm tired of you talking, Pelosi. Nigga, I'm tired of you talking, Pelosi. I just feel like Pelosi be saying a lot of shit. Wasn't she the one who was, like, not trying to sign off on shit because she didn't want to do it while this nigga Trump was in office? I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time. Niggas is out here dying. I ain't trying to rhyme. Wasn't trying to rhyme at all there. Let me just pause. Was not trying to rhyme at all there. Niggas is literally out here dying, and you're fucking... Niggas is out here getting evicted. You're out here talking about... It's a fucking pandemic, and you're not signing off on shit because you don't want fucking Trump to get credit right before the election. It's just more important. I mean, I guess, I don't know. Who knows? if you did sign off, there was more aid while before the election, he definitely would have tried to brag about that. Regardless of, like, what was it, that Pfizer, when Pfizer was like, "Yep, we got a vaccine that's pretty effective." Pence and them niggas was like, "Oh, we did it. We did it. We told y'all we was going to do it." And they came out like, "Yo, we did not work with the Trump administration at all. Like, we did not take that money. We worked independently." And then Trump, I think Pence said it. They came out and was like, "No, that's not true." And then Trump was still like, "Yo, we did it. Nigga, we did it." They was still taking credit for it. Like Donald Trump Jr. and all them niggas was still taking credit. So I guess I see what they're saying is that he would have taken credit. He would have tried to take credit for it. But, like, niggas know what it is. I'm just saying that shit was disgusting. All right? It's disgusting. I wanted to play a little more of that video, but, like, I don't know. Should I? Let's see how I feel.
And even to a certain extent, Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley have told them have betrayed them. And if you don't believe me, listen to them in their own words. I have to warn you, this video, which was licensed from a self-described civil rights activist, is disturbing.
We want you to go home. I'm recording, and there's so many people. It's just, they're going to push their way up here. Bro, I see people out there get hurt. I don't want to see you get hurt. We will make a path dead ass. Like, we don't want that. That's what I'm saying. We'll make a path, bro. Please, just let us make a path. Just let us make a path. For the whole country, I want you to go home. Go. Let's go.
Wow. Niggas said, "I've seen people get hurt. We will make a path. Dead ass. Get out of here, bro. Dead ass. We will make a path." I just love that. Dead ass, bro. We will make a path. And the cops walk away. They walked away. All you had to say was, "Bro, we will clear a path." And this whole time I watched in Milwaukee, I didn't go to these protests. I'm going to be real with you niggas. Because I was watching these live videos of broad daylight fucking people just marching. And the police show up. Smoke bombs. Niggas is getting smoked out. Niggas getting pushed down. Police is fucking violent. Handcuffing niggas. Shit is going down. Definitely didn't look like, "Bro, just move. We don't want to see you get hurt." And the police were like, "All right, let's get out of here." They brought the horses out because niggas are scared of horses. All right? Niggas won't tell you they scared of horses. Niggas are scared of horses. They brought the horses out. Big dumbasses. He's got a gun. They're still breaking it down. Still breaking down the glass. He keeps getting closer with the gun. Oh, he shoots. And he shoots her. Nigga. Nigga, I don't mean to, but like when I'm watching it, first off, you're breaking down this glass for what purpose? You're crazy. And before you break down the glass, they scream, "He's got a gun! He's got a gun!" You guys don't have a gun right there. And you keep breaking down the glass. And with every hit that you go to the glass, he's coming closer with the gun. And then as soon as the glass breaks, he shoots one of y'all. One falls, and a few of y'all run away. What are you running for? What did you expect was going to happen if you got into that fucking building? What did you thought it was just going to be, everything was going to be perfect for you? It's going to be like, "Oh, come right on." Like, you're fucking breaking into a federal building.
Another extremely
During
video shows a crowd of Trump supporters trying to force their way in as officers, including one who is in serious distress, try to hold their ground.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to see any more of that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is shit right here. Let's see. Let's see how that's going.
This was unleashed by the president in no uncertain terms. Let's go back. On December 19th, Donald Trump tweeted, "Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild."
That's the shit. Niggas is finna wild out. Niggas is finna get shit lit. That's what he said. I was paraphrasing. That's what the nigga said. That's what the nigga said. Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm like, why is this shit not, because I told this shit to, I hate when this shit is on so that I can see how long I was talking. I don't like to know how long. Oh, well, shit, I'm stupid. I'm recording. Damn, now I don't know if I fucked up the angle, whatever. But, so as I said earlier, I was recording the fucking video. But, so I was recording the video, got the audio, but I usually set the laptop to turn off to go to sleep as I'm, the screen is asleep as I'm recording, because I just don't like to look, I just don't like it to be so bright and see the time as if, like, I like to be surprised. Like, I like to get lost in my babbles, you know what I'm saying? And then I just, right here, just lowered the screen and was like, nigga, you're fucking recording yourself. So that was nice. But, here we go. You know what I love? I love how this Snoop Dogg, I'm moving on. I love how this Snoop Dogg, get well soon, Dr. Dre. I was going to talk about that a little bit more, but no. Dr. Dre had a brain aneurysm. He's apparently doing well. I know they're saying it could be brought on through stress. He's going through a divorce with his wife right now. So while he was in the hospital, people tried to break into his house. They caught the people that tried to burglarize his house while he was in the hospital. So fuck them. And get well soon, Dr. Dre. I Need a Doctor hit different. It hit different these days. But I love how this whole beef with Snoop Dogg and Eminem, like, according to videos on the Chatty House, which I'm seeing lame-ass niggas on YouTube posting just a video of them listening to cooler niggas, fucking people like Royce the 5'9", talk about things on this Clubhouse app. It's like, nigga, that's not content. I mean, it is content, but you got the same content as fucking 1,000 other people. Because that's just not cool. Because 1,000 other people have it, that's why it's not cool. But I love how niggas was talking on there. This one nigga, I don't even know, Daz Dillinger or some shit like that, was saying, probably like 20 years ago, back when Snoop was originally hating on him, when he was mocking his flow. I played it here before. And he was mocking his flow. Apparently, like, right before that interview, Snoop tried to get Eminem on a song, and Eminem apparently turned it down. So, following that, Snoop Dogg did that interview where it's like, I'm a motherfucking gangster. I don't listen to no motherfucking Eminem. That was following that. So that pretty much started 20 years of beef. And, like, what they were trying to, like, stress was that, like, the way the industry works, most likely, word never even got to Eminem, like, at that time, that Snoop Dogg wanted him on his album. They're saying most likely it got to, like, Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's manager, and he said no. But Snoop Dogg heard it and just got fucking felt slighted by the whole situation. So it's been like over 20 years or so of fucking, I think like over 20 years, like 22 years of beef over Eminem not doing a verse on Snoop Dogg's album. That's how long Snoop Dogg's been salty about this and just been waiting to throw hate. I know he hates it. I know he hates that he's never been called the best rapper alive. And this person he's been hating on for 22, 24 years is considered the greatest. And that's why he's like, I ain't got no spot for Eminem on my top. Because you all on his top for the past 22 years. Moving on. So I've been trying to I was forcing myself to watch the show Oz, you know. I've heard it's one of those original HBO series from back in the day. It came out in 97. You know, when it came out, it was a little too scary for me as a young boy. It came out in 97. I was probably like 7 or 8 when it came out. So it was a little too scary for me, you know what I'm saying? I compared like prison. I compared like hearing about prison stories as a young black man, young black boy. I compare that to like back in the day, like little white kids would want to hear like war stories from like the older people who've been to war because they might get drafted. They might one day go to war and they want to hear those stories of war because it's a chance they may end up there in the future. So like, as a black person, you know, you always had like uncles, cousins, whoever who've been there, and they tell you all those same war stories, just in a different location. So like, Oz was always too scary for me. Just the idea of that show was too scary for me. And then I remember when I got older, I tried to watch it on, because we had HBO, and like the theme song is too scary for me. Like, you know, I assumed it being a show about prison that niggas was getting raped in there. So that was already scary. It was like niggas, I figured niggas getting stabbed, killed, like rapes, all that shit. I was like, that's already scary. Then the theme song is just like drums and it's like, ugh. Like that's, it's just a nigga, ugh. I was like, nope, that theme song is too fucking scary, nigga. The theme song is too fucking scary. But I'm about 3 seasons deep on this motherfucker, and now I'm at the point where I guess I'll just see how this ends. But it's definitely like a 90s fucking show, like Oz, but because it's like they'll deal with certain things like HIV, homosexuality, and the way they talk about it, it's just hilarious to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I found it humorous, a lot of the situations, and then just like the whole stories and the inconsistencies actually, just kind of, I'm like, so what the fuck is going on here? So, oh my God. So there were some hilarious scenes there. There's these 2 prisoners. One is this tall black guy, and he's like the leader of the like black gang in this Emerald City in the prison called Oz. And Emerald City is like or it's like the prison, whatever it's called, and Emerald City, I think is Oz, is the unit that it's like this new unit, experimental unit that people are in. I think the only thing experimental about it is that people have like glass cells, like it's like glass doors and shit like that, rather than bars. I mean, they're not any safer. Nobody's any safer in there. I don't understand the whole thing. But 2 brothers, black dude, tall black dude, leader of the black gang in there. And he's got a brother. His brother is like, he's a gay dude in prison, right? And he's very openly gay. He's not like a secretly gay dude. He's openly gay in prison, which is like those 2 things would clash, but because his brother is like the leader of the black gang, like he's protected. You know what I'm saying? The black dude, as the season progresses, I think it's probably like the first or second season at this point. I think first season. And the leader of the black gang is like converting to Islam. He's becoming Muslim. And because Muhammad doesn't agree with homosexuality, he goes to his brother and he's like, we better quit being a faggot right now. And his brother's like, no, I don't wanna. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't wanna. And he was like, and then like I don't know, that whole little, you better quit right now. And it's like that. I was like, what the fuck? And then his brother's like, no, I don't wanna. I was like, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous dialogue there. That just fucking got me. But like, it's weird because you got the tall dude who's like the leader of the black gang at the time, and his brother who's like not just like openly gay. I'm talking about like following niggas in the showers, like just to jerk off while they're showering type shit. Like and then like niggas will beat him up and then it'll cause a whole war because he's the brother of the leader of the black gang. It was like, bro, just relax. Just like, you don't have to do this right now. Just behave yourself, man. Act like you got some sense. You know what I'm saying? Just act like you got some sense in there. Then it's just so many niggas, so many motherfuckers in this show from like, you got like Edie Falco. I got in here, I call her Dr. LaGuerta. The chick that was Lieutenant LaGuerta from Dexter. She plays a doctor in here, like the prison doctor. Edie Falco plays just like a CO. You got Ernie Hudson playing like the fucking the warden. Ernie Hudson's a cool dude. Like if I was in a TV show or some shit, that dude I would cast Ernie Hudson to play my dad or some shit. Or maybe there would be no dad cast in the show. But but you got this nigga J.K. Simmons. He's like the Aryan Brotherhood leader, prison rapist dude. And this other nigga Lee Tergesen, who gets turned out by the J.K. Simmons dude, Aryan Brother. It's wild. It's wild. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch. You got Dr. LaGuerta, right? Dr. LaGuerta, she's talking to this other nigga named O'Reilly, right? This is just hilarious. These are fucking just dialogue in this show that I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Dr. LaGuerta tells this nigga, like, she thinks he has breast cancer. This nigga laughs. He's like, I'm not a fag. And he's just like, I've been in here for a year and I've never taken it up the ass. And she's like, I believe you. She's like, I believe you. I know, but men have breasts too. This nigga screams. She was like, the fuck are you talking about? I don't got any breasts. I got a chest. See it? Huh? See it? This nigga's like ripping open his like, see it? Huh? See it? I was like, this is the most dramatic shit I've ever seen. And now that I think about it, Jesus Christ, that was like a situation for like 6 episodes. Does he still have breast cancer? I don't know if O'Reilly still has breast cancer. This show is just, it has an issue with consistency. With the consistency. Because it'd be like, man, niggas be just like, everybody's just like raping each other. And then they just go back to being so casual. Like nothing ever happened. Like the nigga Bodie, if you guys watched The Wire, I just rewatched The Wire. Watching Oz, and I didn't know that the guy that plays Bodie is in here when he was like much younger. And I don't know, I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, all right, Bodie's just like a young gangster. He comes in there, he's hustling, he's not gonna get raped in there by anybody because he's hanging out with like the main black rapist in the show out of BC. And I was like, oh, he's like 3 times the size of this kid. But, like, they were, like, real cool right away. So I was like, it's not going to happen. Then, like, not too long ago, this show is just real random. Out of BC is, like, one of the top. He's, like, just a buff-ass black dude from Nigeria who ends up in that prison. He's just, like, addicted to drugs. He's a fucking prison rapist. He's in there for life, for murder. But some other Nigerian comes in there and, like, they say, like, puts him under some voodoo spell, my nigga. And, like, he no longer wants to do drugs. He wants to get back to his African roots. And he's hanging out with this old man. He's not trying to be a gangster anymore. And because of that, the black dudes are so mad that this big-ass Nigerian doesn't want to fucking participate in the gang life no more. They fucking stabbed this old Nigerian in front of fucking Adebisi, the big-ass black Nigerian. And, yeah, they fucking just stabbed this nigga in front of him, just like, so that he can come back to doing shady shit. And it's wild, because then it evolves to somehow the nigga Bodhi coming back into his cell to find out that Adebisi is now his new roommate. And then the next time you see Bodhi, he's fucking butt naked, tied face down to the bed, talking and just looking up casually, like, to fucking Adebisi, who's just standing there in his underwear talking about, like, why don't you just kill me? And he's like, nah, man, I just gotta teach. Like, they're just having a casual conversation, and I'm just like, yo, this is wild. And, like, then they just go on just hanging out like nothing ever happened. Like, they're just all hanging out. Last episode I seen, like, some other niggas that Adebisi fucked up were just like, man, fuck Adebisi. We gotta get him back for what he did to us. And they were like, nah. And he's like, nah, man, maybe later. But not right now. We gotta listen to Adebisi. And it's like, nigga, y'all are too casual right now. It's too casual. Then you got the dude who I kind of think is the main character. His name's like Beecher. He was like a lawyer who got drunk and accidentally murdered somebody. He's driving drunk. And then he got there, and then Juno's father is leader of the Aryan Brotherhood. You guys seen the movie Juno? Juno's father starts raping this dude and burns like a swastika into him, and like, then the nigga from Law and Order, what's this nigga's name? Christopher Milani. That nigga shows up, and he and the fucking Toby dude, the lawyer guy, his name's Tobias, they start, like, their little romance. But it turns out that Juno's father had raped the dude from Law and Order like 10 years ago, and they were like a thing like 10 years ago. So they set it up just to fuck with him. And then homeboy from Law and Order breaks this nigga Tobias, breaks both this nigga's legs and arms. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? This show is the wildest fucking show. I've watched the first 3 seasons. There's 6 seasons. I got through the first 3. It's one of the weirdest shot shows I've ever seen. You know, when Game of Thrones was on, it was just like, I remember people were like complaining that there wasn't, I remember I was talking to my buddy Flamenco. It was like every time they introduce a woman in the show, and a lot of people talking about it. Flamenco was talking about this, me and him were talking about this, it's just always, all the women get naked in the show, and like, no dudes get naked, and if they are, it's like briefly, but the women are usually like always naked. They'll have like full scenes where the point of it is that they're naked. Like they just need all the women naked in the show, and it's just like, and I remember like talking about that, but like as I'm watching Oz, it's like, fuck, dude, they were making up for it in Game of Thrones, because it's just like every fucking dude they need to fucking just throw naked on this fucking screen. It was like, even I remember I think in season 3, by season 3, in the theme song, in the opening credits, they've got fucking loose penises just popping up in the fucking opening credits. But it's like, I'm watching, dude, everybody's getting naked. It's like there'll be a fight every show, every episode, and then somebody be like, if you just hear the words, "You're going to the hole," there's gonna be a loose penis on the screen. Like in a second, there's gonna be just a loose penis on the screen. I'm watching it. Fucking 2 cops are talking about like boxing, because I'll get to that in a second, because they let the fucking prisoners box each other, and the one cop says, I guess the Negro isn't always the best boxer. And the black cop was like, fuck both of you, and fucking rips off his towel, and it's just fucking, his dick is just there, and it's just like, just him just there angry with his dick out, and it's like, why'd you rip off your towel for that? You didn't need to shoot that way. You didn't need to shoot it that way. It was just like, wow, man, this is just a lot. And I got through the first 3 seasons, and I was like, I guess I'll finish it. But I was talking to my wife, like, as I'm watching this, and I'm like, fuck, man, it's just like every other scene is like, it's like one, it's just like penis everywhere. Season 4, I was seeing the first episode of season 4 is called A Cock and Balls Story, and I'm like, that's every episode of fucking Oz. I don't know what I expected from a prison TV show. Don't know what I expected, but it's fucking weird. It's also weird that it's just an all-male, pretty much cast, except for the one lady who was on death row. So you're telling me there's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird. But also, so, I don't know, this show's weird. You got this nigga Beecher, the lawyer guy. He eventually, like, after he gets both his arms broke and his heart broken by the nigga from Law and Order, he becomes a white Muslim, all right? Walking around saying, Assalamu alaikum to niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's saying Assalamu alaikum to niggas, all right? I'm sitting here geeking out. And, dude, I was going to explain, I was going to try to explain this next scene that I saw here, but it's, like, so wild. This shit makes no sense. This show makes no sense, but, like, dude, it's, like, as I'm watching it also, I don't know if this, I was trying to think, it seems like every 2 minutes, they'll have a character drop that hard R. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear any of the black characters say nigga. Like, oh, what up, my nigga, or anything. Nigga, anything. But it seems like every 2 minutes, they need a character to just drop that hard R for whatever reason. And it's like, did Quentin Tarantino write this shit? Is there a sign on my front lawn that says dead nigger storage? Is there a sign on my front lawn that says dead nigger storage? I'm like, did Quentin Tarantino write fucking Oz? Because this is every 2 minutes. I'm like, whew, whew. Oh, Quentin's on screen. Get ready. Brace yourself. Tarantino's on the screen. Uh-oh. Here we come. I thought this was a Disney movie. But yeah, it's like, goddamn, it's a lot of hard R's in there. And they got white Muslims. Well, just the one white Muslim, but now I don't think he's a white Muslim anymore. I think he's just a white Muslim just to push that storyline further. He became a white Muslim. He had a cane because both his legs were broken and his arms. He got stabbed, put in the hospital, almost died. Now he's perfectly fine. Doesn't need a cane. He doesn't need a cane. He's perfectly fine after almost dying. Like, how much blood did you lose when you fucking broke all your legs and you're getting stabbed? Broke your legs, broke your arms. I don't know, it's a wild-ass show. If you guys want to check it out, check it out. There's, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know if I would suggest, I don't know if I would recommend this show for anybody, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. It's just fucking weird. And it's like, one thing that I find real uncomfortable, there's this character who he had brain damage, right? And after the brain damage, they're saying he has the mind of like a 5-year-old. And for whatever reason, they just put this nigga in a boxing tournament in the prison. And he's fucking just, well, they're drugging the opponents he's fighting. He doesn't know that they're drugging the opponents. His brother is in prison with him. And he's drugging the opponents that he's fighting. But, like, I'm like, dude, this shit is not okay. And it's, like, points where he's just getting knocked to the ground, and I'm like, yo, because they're, like, saying that he's slow, and they're putting him in these boxing tournaments, and I'm just like, yo, this is fucking wild. And then it got to the point where he won the tournament against this big-ass black dude who wasn't drugged up. He beat the shit out of that black dude. And then they was like, yo, you fucked him up. He's got brain damage now. And the dude was like, yo, like he's like me now? Like the nigga was, they're saying he has the mind of a 5-year-old, but at the same time, he's very well aware of who he is, that something happened. He's very conscious of the situation. And he's like, what, so I made him like me? And the nigga was like, no, you made him worse. And he just starts beating the shit, like the mentally challenged, like, brother just starts beating the shit out of the non-mentally challenged brother. This show is wild, my nigga. It's wild. I don't know if I'd recommend this shit for anybody. They didn't need to shoot it the way they shot it, all right? Oz is just like, did you guys, if you've seen the South Park parody of Game of Thrones, and they got that song, Wieners, Flopping Wieners, that shit should be the theme song for fucking Oz, because it's just Wieners, Flopping Wieners. And I'm like, you didn't need to shoot it that way. Like, there's a time where Tobias, the main character, and the dude from Law and Order are just, like, talking. I think it's, like, when they first met, or, like, right after they first met, and they're just, like, in the shower, and they got the camera pointing down so that you can see their dicks. And it's just like, you didn't need to shoot it that way. You could have had it, like, two people fucking talking. Like a normal conversation, like you normally would shoot that shit. But for whatever reason, you needed to... Let's look at both of their dicks right now. This show is fucking weird. I don't know if I'd... I'm gonna finish the show. I'm gonna finish the series, don't get me wrong, but it's just like the storylines are so fucking crazy and it just kind of happened. Like, it was like the dude had high blood pressure, and it seemed like that only really was a thing that needed to be there for a later episode, and then once it served its purpose, his high blood pressure was no longer an issue. That's just what it seems. They got these real convenient issues that seem to just pop up and resolve themselves. I don't know. It's just all over the place. HBO has come a long way from the writing in this fucking show. And it's just like weird. I mean it's the 90s, so people definitely thought things differently, but like they still like are like of the impression that you can only get like HIV if you're a homosexual, like all that's in there. They doing some wild shit in there. Like there was some fucking like Italian mobster who was running shit, and they would make him fucking spaghetti and meatballs for lunch every day. So they fucking, like, to get rid of that guy, they crushed up glass, like, real fine and put it in his spaghetti sauce every day. And he'd be like, you're making the spaghetti sauce too spicy. And then all of a sudden he just started, like, bleeding out of his ears. And it was like, okay, that's fucking random. They're doing some rant. And then it was, like, the black dude out of BC, after they murdered the fucking black dude. He fucking, if they murdered that other African guy, he went to the CO's like, I want to learn about AIDS. I want to work in the AIDS ward so that one day I can help my people. Right? He's saying this to the COs, and I'm watching this show like, isn't that nigga in prison for life after murdering motherfuckers? And he's one of the biggest, like, deadliest motherfuckers in prison since I've been watching the show. But they let this nigga work in the AIDS unit so that one day he can help his people. And he, for whatever reason, gets like this little like syringe and fucking takes this one dude's fucking AIDS blood. And as he's walking by, another gangster fucking pricks him in the fucking hand and gives that nigga HIV. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going... This show is wild. It's wild. It's just all over the place. But this weekend, I'm going to move on. I'm move on from that show. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to finish Oz. Probably going to talk about it a little bit more. You know, I'm going to watch through the Flopping Wieners so you don't have to. And I'll try to give you guys a little more in-depth rundown of this. But there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot. Like, I wrote down some things, but it's like, dude, I have to explain a lot to even talk about that. Oz is a wild-ass show. Check it out if you want, but I don't know if I necessarily would recommend it for anybody. Kanye West is getting a divorce, so maybe we'll get some good music. Maybe we'll have some pretty good music coming up soon. Next week, Saturday, we got the return of the Mac. We got return of the match, ladies and gentlemen. We got Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar on ABC. Real hype for that. We got some fights coming back for you, ladies and gentlemen, next week. That's going to be a pretty good fight on paper. I was just watching Max fight Anthony Pettis, and man, dude, like, Calvin is good, but I don't know. Like, Max is on a different level. And Volkanovski, that's why those fights are seemingly so close. Like, he's on another level. I don't know if, like, who could really fuck with Volkanovski right now. I don't think, what's his name? Brian Ortega. I don't think he's going to do too well. I think Volkanovski might finish Ortega in the first round. That's honestly how I feel about that. So when I say that to say I think Max Holloway is going to beat the shit out of Calvin Kattar. That's my prediction for that fight if I had to do it. Co-main event, you got, and all of this is tentative, all right? All of this is tentative. As I mentioned last week, every single one of these fights can literally fall off tomorrow. By the time I hit stop on this recording, every single one of these fights could fall off. So this is all tentative. So, but my predictions right now, or not my predictions, my estimations, my fucking chances, my odds were my favorites. These are the people that I've favored to win these fights. I got Max Holloway favored to win the main event. I got Carlos Condit is going to come in here and beat Matt Brown. I don't like what I've seen from Matt Brown in this last fight. I mean, it's an old guy fight. Send these motherfuckers to Bellator. Whatever you want. I'm surprised they're here. He said he was going to cut all these people by the end of the year. Like he was saying, you're going to see a lot of big names either retiring or going to other places. And I thought these definitely would be some names. I'm figuring like whoever loses here is probably going to get cut. If not the both of them after having one last old guy fight here. I got Carlos Condit taking that one. You got Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Li Jingliang. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that fight. I got to look more into that. So right now, I'm not sure who I think would win that fight. I'm going to look into it. I'll have my picks for you guys next week, Saturday, on Instagram. Make sure to check for that. Follow me on Instagram. You got Joaquin Buckley taking on Alessio Detricchio. Joaquin Buckley is the guy who had the knockout of the year. His opponent caught his kick and he spun around and knocked him out cold. That's Joaquin Buckley. He returns to action this Saturday on ABC. Then you got, Dusko Todorovic is fighting again against another undefeated fighter, Punahale this is going to be a good fight. That's the first fight on the main card at middleweight. That's gonna be a good fight. I think Soriano's he's the Hawaiian guy, right? I'm pretty sure he's the Hawaiian guy. I don't know. I guess with a name like Punahele Soriano, I guess if I'm trying to say that he might, he's from Hawaii. I'm putting some stank on that to make it Punahele. Like, I think I'm putting that stank on there. But no, I remember this guy. I'm pretty sure he fought on the Contender Series, if I'm not mistaken. I love Tapology. Yep, he fought on the Contender Series. I remember that. And he fought, yep. He fought on the, I've seen him fight live then. I've seen Punahele Soriano, if he fought on the Usman Covington card, then I saw him fight live. So, yeah, I was like, damn, I know his name. Like, this is about to be a good fight. That's a good fight right there, ladies and gentlemen. So the first fight of the main card on ABC, that card is, damn, that's an early card. So the prelims start at 11 a.m. That main card is starting at 2 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. So it's an early card this weekend. Prelims, you got some, you got some fights on here, ladies and gentlemen. You got some fights. I think Mike Grundy's out, or maybe Nick Lynn's, one of those guys is out. All right, you got some fights out here, but I'm clearly interested in the main event. I think Max is going to take away that main. He's going to run away with that main event. But this middleweight fight right here to start off the card, I'm really excited for that fight. I don't know, Dusko, actually. I'm going with Todorovic. That's my pick in that one if I have to. Going Todorovic. But that's going to be a good fight right there. And so is this Joaquin Buckley fight. That's going to be a pretty good fight. It's going to be some good fights on ABC, so I'm pretty hyped. It's early card, which is always good with your boy. It's episode 73. Still calling it Oz, even though I don't necessarily recommend that show for anybody at all. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the social medias. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com, and you can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. And if you guys got Xbox, go ahead and add me. My gamer tag is SauceBoss414. If you guys got, if you niggas is on Twitch, go ahead and add me at twitch.tv/Babylon5. Yeah, Babylon5, I should change that. I've been saying, I remember I said I should change it, and it was like, you can't change it for like either 60 days or 6 months, whatever it was, it's beyond that time, and I can change it, and I should. Go ahead and check out the merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. Get the boars, man. Get you the Babylon 5 podcast, man. Get you some hoodies. Get you some things. Again, it's teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. And don't just be my Negroes. Be my patrons. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5pod, where you can get this episode early every week on Sunday night. But everybody else, you're going to get this episode Monday morning. All right? Monday morning. If you guys are on TikTok, go ahead and add me at Babylon5 Podcast. This is your boy, Jermaine Event. Thank you guys so much for being here with me again another week. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and each other. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Peace.